So here's a clear example of moderators in real life. Since many people seem to think that the internet is somehow magic, and that when people ban you and treat you like shit and humiliate you and degrade you, it somehow doesn't affect anything. That just because it happens, oh, it's the internet, don't take it so seriously. Even though you have your bank account online, you have friends online, you socialize online, pretty much at least 50% of your life is online. And I don't care if you're a person that is avidly online or just, casually online. Periodically, most people have a Facebook and have a PayPal and things like that. So you should make it your business to oppose moderators. Anyway, I linked this article to Chapin's Inferno so he could talk about it, and I'm sure he'll give it a more MRA spin. But that's not what I do. So what I want to talk about is how, this 73-year-old man was in the children's book section getting his grandkids some children's books. And because some woman just decided to make a complaint about this guy for whatever reason, they told him that he could not be alone in the children's section. That no man could be alone in the children's section. Does that make any sense at all? I don't care how many cases of pedophiles they have come across that have kidnapped kids and put them in their van or whatever. You don't do that. That is just blatant discrimination and should not be tolerated. It's just a step away from segregation. And the very fact that they think they can get away with it just shows how low we have gotten as a society. That is moderator logic right there. The fact that this 73-year-old man cannot be left alone to buy some fucking books for his grandkids. And, a lot of you are probably not even going to care. That's the most sickening part. A lot of you are going to brush it off and say it's nothing. You're going to be busy picking on me instead of worrying about this poor old guy and the very fact that we live in such a degenerate society that we can't even just be left alone to buy a fucking book. He's bothering to put money into the pockets of Barnes & Noble Corporation when in fact Barnes & Noble is obsolete at this point. We may as well just fucking burn Barnes & Noble down. We don't need them anymore. We have ebooks. We have PDF files. We could fucking download any book we damn well please anyway. That's what uTorrent is for. Why the fuck do we need bookstores? And even if somehow you couldn't download the book, there's still a library. So Barnes & Noble is irrelevant in today's age. And they have the nerve to, come to this guy and tell him that he's not allowed in the book section by themselves. And then when they were confronted with it, they just write it off. They just completely ignore it. They, stop answering their phone calls and things like that. And then they have the audacity to say, well, we think we acted appropriately. That sure sounds like moderator talk to me. Oh, we think we acted appropriately. I don't give a fuck what you think. You didn't act appropriately. And you should be sued for it. Maybe, when it costs you a few $100,000, you'll think twice about it. And maybe you'll rethink whether or not you acted appropriately. Fucking Barnes & Noble. And it's not just a Barnes & Noble thing. I'm not angry at Barnes & Noble. I'm angry at the fact that this moderator system has become so saturated in Western society. And nobody seems to give a crap. When are you going to give a crap? When it affects you personally? What's it going to take? You don't have any freedoms. Get that through your head. If you do not have the freedom to post